Eve. Joining us now in the Element Well studios, Christina Danford, Mississippi's distinguished young woman for the class of 2022. Christina, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I was just reading your little bio here. You've accomplished quite a bit in your young life. Congratulations. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, so you are scheduled to graduate, you were telling me. That's coming up pretty soon, right?
Yes,
Couple
sir.
weeks
This
from
Thursday.
All right, from the Sacred Heart School in Hattiesburg?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you told me you got one test left. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I've got one test.
You ready for that?
Feel ready. Been studying for a long time for it, so.
I bet you'll do pretty good.
Thank you.
And then after that, you have received and had accepted an appointment to the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. You're
Yes,
headed
sir.
that way to play tennis.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So you're going to be in the Navy. You come from a military family.
I do.
Right.
I do.
Tell us about that.
My father is currently a colonel in the Air Force,
Okay.
and my brother is actually a 2019 graduate of West Point.
Wow.
And he is a first lieutenant in the Army, and he currently serves out at Fort Lewis, Washington. So it means so much to me to be able to continue my family's legacy of military service by attending the Naval Academy.
Well, so did they put any pressure on you, like you got to go to the military, or you just always kind of felt like that made sense for you?
Actually, my family didn't put any pressure on me to go into the military. It's just something that I've always felt a call towards.
Sure.
And I first felt that call in the 7th grade, and it's been something that I've wanted to ultimately pursue for the past several years.
Well, thanks to the members of your family for their service, and thank you for stepping up and serving your country in this regard. It's a little bit different than a traditional college experience to attend a U.S. military academy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best of the best. Very few are accepted, and it's quite the honor, and congratulations to you on that. And so playing tennis, you've played tennis, I assume, all your life.
I first began playing tennis at 7 years old.
Okay.
Interesting story. I was actually a musician before that. And I played piano for 2 to 3 hours a day, every day. And my mother got me involved in tennis to get me some physical activity, never thinking that I would ultimately become a college recruited tennis player. So I've been playing tennis since I was 7 years old. I've traveled all across the Southeast playing in USTA tournaments.
Okay.
And I'm so excited to ultimately pursue my dream of college tennis at the
that is
Naval
awesome.
Academy.
So the Naval Academy, playing tennis. So got to ask you, what's your plan after college?
My ultimate goal is to become a military physician.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people don't think, going to a service academy, becoming a physician, but I want to become a physician and take care of those that sacrifice so much for our country.
Sure. So that would, I assume, have you working at a military clinic or hospital in that respect?
Yes, sir.
Is that normally what happens there?
I will either be on a base stationed somewhere at a hospital, or I will be on a ship somewhere, wherever that may be, wherever they want me to be.
Wow. How long will that take you? So after you receive, I guess, your bachelor's degree, as it would be, from your first 4 years or so of college, and then how many more years to ultimately become a physician?
So I have my 4 years of medical school and my years of residency, which will vary depending on the specialty that I choose. And every year that I spend in medical school and in residency, I will owe the military 1 year back for my time.
Oh, I see.
So graduating from the Naval Academy, I already owe the military 5 years. So attending a service academy is free in exchange for your service.
Yeah.
So but I'm okay with that because my ultimate goal is to become a military physician. So I'm excited to serve my years serving as a physician in the military.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Well, you're very impressive, and thank you for coming in. So you're also valedictorian and the star student.
Yes, sir.
Of the class in which you're graduating at Sacred Heart High School.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right? A National Merit finalist and a candidate for the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program. So, all right, so I got to ask you, do you study a lot, or does it just come naturally to you?
I study all the time. My parents will tell you I spend at least 2 to 3 hours a night studying.
Sure.
And to get to the point where I am with my grades, it's involved a lot of sacrifice. There's been a lot of weekends where maybe my friends were out having dinner or seeing a movie where I had to stay in and study.
Yeah.
But that was my ultimate goal, was to become valedictorian, and I feel very grateful that all of the hard work that I put in over the past 5 years has paid off now.
Evidently. With all these distinctions and headed off to the military academy, and you find enough time to play tennis on top of that and excel at that. I mean, playing D1 tennis is a pretty big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah. I bet you can beat a lot of people, huh? You beat the guys?
Some of them.
Yeah, I bet you do. All right, and then so as Mississippi's Distinguished Young Woman for 2022, you'll be representing our great state at the national program in Mobile, Alabama. That's coming up here in June, about a month, June 13th and 14th.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
I am Mississippi's Distinguished Young Woman, so it involves competition in 5 areas, first of which being scholastic competition, so they evaluate your grades and your transcripts and things of that nature. 25% is also a 10-minute private interview.
Wow.
20% is talent, and 15% is fitness, which not swimsuit, but actually a choreographed fitness routine.
Okay.
And then 15% is self-expression, which a lot of people know as the on-stage question.
All right.
So I will be there for 2 weeks. The first week will be a lot of community service and public appearances in the Mobile community, and the next week will involve rehearsals and the competition for the last 3 nights.
All right, what's your talent?
I'm a violinist.
Okay, so you play tennis, you're a violinist, you're going to be a doctor, and you're going to the military academy, the Naval Academy.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So you're a violinist.
I am.
That's cool. And you're going to play that at the event?
I am. I am a violinist, have been since I was 5 years old, and I've been very fortunate throughout my years of playing the violin to have performed at Carnegie Hall and the Sydney Opera House with the Honors Performance Series Orchestra.
Wow. So do you practice that? So you have to practice tennis. You're studying. I assume you're practicing the violin as well.
I do. I practice my talent almost every day.
Wow. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Why the violin? What attracted you to that?
I started playing the violin at 5 years old, and I'm really not sure what really attracted me to the violin, but I love the sound, and I love the feeling that I get when I play the violin. There's really nothing like it, and there's no way that I can really describe it. It's just really magical to play the violin.
It always occurred to me, just in observing, that it is an extremely difficult instrument to play and more importantly, to master. Is that true?
Very difficult.
Do musicians even sort of acknowledge that the violin is one of those most difficult to play instruments?
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
It truly does take a lot of skill to play the violin. You have the tone part of it and the intonation part of it, and also you're playing the bow with one hand, you're doing the bow, and also the fingers with the other hand. So it takes a lot of coordination to play the violin as well.
Well, the violin is one of those instruments that I think it's safe to say, when played well, sounds magical, and when not, you really don't want to hear it, right? Kind of screechy.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, I'm betting you're the former, though. So, all right, so you got this event coming up, and then you've also competed and been Mississippi's Junior Miss. Is that right? Yeah. And you earned a scholarship as part of that, and also as part of the Distinguished Young Woman. And that scholarship promotes achievement in scholastics, talent, public speaking. It's clear you excel in all of those. And you're against some pretty stiff competition in this as well, right?
I am.
These are all highly accomplished individuals.
They are. Going into the national program, I will be surrounded by all of these incredibly accomplished, incredibly talented young women just like myself. And going into the competition, I'm trying not to focus so much on everyone else, but simply doing the best that I can and focusing on myself and not worrying about the competition around me.
And then you've also had some involvement in the community with Extra Table and the box drive. Tell us about that.
I partnered with Extra Table to do a box drive at my high school, and I'm proud to say that with my class and also myself, we collected a total of 64 boxes for the Extra Table charity, which, if anyone listening doesn't know, it is a local nonprofit charity in Mississippi that focuses on combating food insecurity in Mississippi. And after I did my box drive at my high school, I decided to go even bigger on the state level, and I promoted the charity on the Distinguished Young Women social media platforms and raised $3,000 for the charity as well.
Well, I'll share this with you. You're going to be so incredibly successful because you're so well-rounded.
Thank you.
And that is an unbelievable asset and a credit that you should be proud of. It will take you far, for sure. And I'm so proud that you're representing the great state of Mississippi at the Naval Academy in the event. And big things are coming your way. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Christina Danford, Mississippi's distinguished young woman for the class of 2022, has been our guest on Middays. We'll step aside. We'll be right back.